brand new year, a brand new show right here on BNN TV. A very special welcome to all of you who are watching us in January 2016. Where does the time go, folks? Here we are in a brand new year, brand new show with my co-host Jim Saya. Hey folks, BNN TV, RCN channel 83, BNN TV channel 23, BNNTV.org, live streaming on the net as we speak right now, and also on social media. Jim and I are coming to you with a brand new program about the motion picture industry and the entertainment industry here in the Bay State. So very, very special welcome. Also, we would like to invite you to give us a call, 617-708-3280, 617-708-3280. We're cablecasting live stream right here at BNN. Our operators are standing by, and we are ready to take calls. LAURIE Bono, actor, is with us tonight, and also independent filmmaker Ashton Lund is going to be here, and both brought, for your viewing pleasure, both brought clips of their latest projects. Hey, Jim, a very special welcome to you. Happy New Year, Jim.
Happy New Year, John, and to the audience, Happy New Year's, and our guests, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
LAURIE and Mark, thank you.
Thank you for having
us. And we're going to be taking calls 617-708-3280, 617-708-3280. Mark, all sorts of things happening with you.
Yeah, we're still distributing Justice Is Mine. We're hoping to have another screening in the next maybe 4 or 5 months. The film has world premiere in August of 2013. We've had 21 screenings, mostly theatrical, quite a few here in the Commonwealth. We had our international premiere in October of 2014 in Canard Line's Queen Elizabeth Ocean Liner. That was a very exciting one. Very nerve-wracking, though, too, I'll tell you, because here we are on this ship in the middle of the Mediterranean, and I realized the only other person that saw the film in the audience was my mother. Of course, we can always count on Mom, but when you have like 350 people sitting in the audience, you're like, oh, God, I hope they like it, because there's no place to go if they don't.
Well, you know, our audience is going to be able to judge that for themselves tonight, and I think they're going to really enjoy it. Sitting next to me is LAURIE Bono, and LAURIE has a connection with 2 of our previous guests, is that right?
That's correct. Frankie Imbergamo and Chris Palermo. I recently appeared on an episode of Pizza Makers with both of them.
Right.
Actually, I reconnected with Chris Palermo back in school last year. I went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting, and come to find out we had played baseball together when we were 7. A little league team. So,
Jeez.
Yeah.
Small world.
See, Mark, there's a connection. There's networking going on.
There is. It's all happening.
It's all
the networking.
Mark. It's all happening.
Well, look at your technician. I was like,
that's right. I mean, it's a small world.
Yeah,
yes, it is a small world.
So, and so you're involved with Pizza Makers?
I'm involved with Pizza Makers.
Our audience knows about that because we showed excerpts of it before.
Yes.
And tonight we'll show
I'm going to show it tonight, too.
I actually worked on episode 9. Mm-hmm. I was a production assistant and a stand-in.
Right.
And then episode 10 came around. I was the floor director for that episode. And Chris approached me to take on a part, introduce a new character, which we will see in the clip. Lucia, who is Danny's sister.
So we have television and film that we're going to be talking about tonight. Jim, all sorts of things happening in the Bay State, or we hope they are, right?
We hope they are, John. We are looking for the tax incentives once again. They've been a big issue.
Is that coming up like it did last year?
It's not coming up because they already cut it for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
So they can't do anything.
Can't
right, for the next 3 years, it's safe. So if
that's good.
And the filmmakers in LA and New York, they always look at that and they're saying,
Right.
well, we're not coming if they're having problems with their tax incentives. So this year it's safe, next year it's safe, then the year after that they have to, get back on the drawing board. But it's one of those things that there's only 2 or 3 people putting up a fuss about it, which I don't understand. That these people, because one of them they filmed in his town, one of the representatives, and he made some pretty good money for the town of Taunton. I'll tell you the town.
Right.
And he was complaining about it, which I don't understand. Small business people, when you make a movie, especially these big movies, you see the small people in the small business, they're the ones who are making money.
Exactly.
And they're not putting that down on their books as money made. And that's one of the problems for the tax.
Well, even our film, I mean, and we didn't qualify for the tax credit, but you could see where we were spending money in small businesses, and that was just on our film, was with
Right,
a low-budget
right.
indie. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize that when a film comes into town, especially one budgeted, say, in the $100 million range.
Right.
I mean, look when they came in and they filmed that movie with Tom Cruise at Worcester Airport. Worcester Airport never had so many planes before until
Day
they filmed
and
the
night.
movie. Day and night, yeah. It looked like a real airport. They put planes up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hysterical because the airport was basically closed until they did that movie. And they built things out. They put infrastructure in. I mean, the bottom line is people had employment, taxes are paid.
Yeah.
You know, it's so logical. And look, what was the state that got rid of it? Was it North Carolina?
Right.
Some state
Well,
got rid of it, and their entire industry just went away.
Went down the tour.
Yeah.
I think it was Tennessee or
Was it
something.
Tennessee? It was one of them down
Went
there,
down
wasn't it?
down
Yeah.
south, right.
So-
And we're not even talking about what happens after the film is released and people want to come here to see what the
Exactly.
place looks like.
Because people have asked me in our movie, they've said, where was this filmed? I said, it was all filmed in Massachusetts.
Where was it filmed?
Okay, it was largely filmed in Oxford, where Tomek lives.
Right.
And North Andover, or is it Andover?
So
where-
people are going to see a nice
Andover.
slice of Massachusetts.
Oh,
right?
absolutely, yeah. We filmed on farms, we filmed in office buildings. We did do some filming in southern New Hampshire, but it was 90%.
It's still New England.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
90%
still
of it was
New England.
Massachusetts,
Right.
yeah.
Even on Pizza Maker, they used some of the places they used in Everett, I think, or that area for Pizza Maker, where they used the.
We use
Film.
we filmed one of them at the school. We have another location. I can't let you know now what it
Okay.
is, but for episode 11 will be possibly in the North End.
Right, but so
Yeah, but
you use businesses.
we're all local,
And they
yeah.
don't put that down in the books as money spent or saved.
Right.
And that's one of the problems. They look at how much money the big actors make and how much they take
Right.
out of the
Right.
city.
That they-
And that's the state, which is totally
Right.
wrong.
I think they're looking at the short-term effects versus
Yep.
the long-term effects,
Absolutely.
which is incredible. It was an incredible difference.
Yeah, the long-term effects are just almost immeasurable because
Right.
it's a permanent public relations plan
Right.
for the Commonwealth.
Exactly.
It's simple. I mean, we had some actors that came down from Maine, and they have some wonderful talent, like they do in all the New England states. But apparently, they have only, was it a 5% credit,
Yes,
if
it's-
that,
it's
something.
very small.
So it's
Not too much filming in Maine.
no, not much. And you know, and I've seen some. I don't want to call it studio setups and everything, but there were some businesses up there that were trying to bring films in. One was a whole big green screen room, and I said, "This is just fantastic." But I mean, I was on some green screen stuff years ago, and I just know how much that costs to make and
Right.
to build out. So you're going to go to a state where you have a tax credit
That's right.
because,
And also employ the local folk, too.
yeah,
Exactly,
exactly.
That's where the
Because
money.
I mean-
That's where the money.
Right.
Which, for another reason, they don't add that into the books. Right?
No.
And I don't understand why.
it kind of boggles my mind when I see like these stories in the Globe and the other publications where you're reading very negative reporting.
I think
sometimes
we're
on-
changing that, though, and I think
I
a lot
think
of
it
people who
is.
are on this show, and a
Yeah,
lot of people
yeah,
like Jim and
yeah.
myself who are actually involved with this business,
Yeah.
are coming out and saying, no, we need these tax breaks, and even people who aren't
Totally.
involved with the
Right.
business
Yeah.
saying, yeah, bring the movies here, we want movies back
People
in
get
Massachusetts.
very excited when they see that. I know when we were filming Justice's Mind in all these little towns and
Yeah.
everything, people were excited. They wanted.
Yeah.
Some of them were extras in the film.
Yeah.
You know, we needed some extra bodies.
And like you said, the Globe puts us out there, but the
Yeah.
Globe, we filmed on Spotlight, the movie that's coming out of Spotlight. We filmed at the Boston Globe.
Yeah.
Right.
And they made a lot of money.
Spotlight was an
Yes.
excellent movie, by the way. Spotlight,
We filmed. I filmed there 3 days. I worked there, so you had to rent the Globe.
Yeah,
you had to
sure.
rent all those offices. You
Yep.
had to bring food.
Right. Yep.
And now they turn around and say, "What's happening to all the money? It went in your
It
pocket."
went into your building.
Yeah, it went into your
Well,
pocket.
they filmed Ghostbusters in Everett that also.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Yeah, they filmed a lot
And,
in Everett. They used the school,
Kevin
the high
James
school.
used the high school, the old
yeah,
high school.
the old high school
Yeah.
up there. I
Well, there was a
filmed
Bruce
3
Willis
days.
film that was it Surrogates
Surrogates.
that filmed in Worcester at the old courthouse.
Jim and myself worked on that.
Oh, you worked on
Jim,
that?
Jim especially. Jim.
Ah, yeah.
A stand-in film.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure, yeah. Yeah, but they filmed that at the old Worcester courthouse.
Yeah.
And so it just proves that, you know, and that building wasn't doing anything.
No.
You know, and it's just, but Hollywood, when they get the message that, oh, a state's going to cut their tax credits or it's on the books, you know, these productions plan out months and years
That's
down
right.
the road. And they just want to know when they get to where they have to go that they're going to get this
And
credit
I
back.
think,
Yeah.
and I think maybe with the exception of maybe one or two features, the movies that have been shot here, and I'm going back all the way to Love Story, which was a phenomenal success. The Friends of Eddie Coyle, the movies that are shot here, for the most part, they're successful.
Yeah, they
They're
do well.
successful. They're
They do
very
well.
successful.
Well, you have you have a lot of people that cooperate. I mean, like when we were making Justice, and again, it was a small independent feature. Businesses cooperated, people cooperated. They wanted to be part of it because they read about movies being shot in the state. Oh, and now one is being shot in our town,
Right.
whatever it is. And like we needed MRI centers. I needed a horse farm with expanse. I like my Alfred Hitchcock scenes that was out in Oxford. We did, big expanses. And we just had people cooperating, and it
Everybody wants to be in
everyone
the movie.
wants to be in the film business, and it's
fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
And look at Chris. Chris has done, what episode is he on now? 11 or 12?
We're going on 11.
11 episodes.
And that's been successful.
It's been very successful.
On the net.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the net.
Yes.
And he intends to continue to do this.
Yeah,
is
we
that
have
right?
episode 11 we're going to be shooting soon. I'm going to be in the next episode, so I can tell you that much. I'm excited about that.
Do you do any writing?
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't do any writing. I love behind the scenes, but
Yeah.
I'm not.
I love the screenwriting.
You're more in
Writing's
front of
not
the
my
camera.
Some people
forte.
do, some people
Yeah.
love
I think certain people have they have an expertise behind the scenes,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
certain people have an expertise in front of the camera. 617-708-3280. 617-708-3280. We're cable casting live, our very first show of 2016, folks, here at the BNN TV studio. Welcome to all of our viewers on RCN Cable Channel 83, people who are watching us live streaming throughout the planet, bnntv.org, people watching us on Vimeo and on Facebook, thanks to Ted Lewis. We are promoting, talking about, and discussing the motion picture industry. Give us a call, 617-708-3280. Now, we are going to be seeing a clip. Give us a little idea. Our technical people are queuing it up. Give us
Sure.
a little idea of what we're going to look at.
It's set in the near future where MRI technology can read your long-term memory. Our main character goes in to have this procedure, and it allegedly reveals that he has shot and killed 2 people, but he doesn't remember doing it. And he soon finds himself facing his own memory at trial. But then we find out what that memory really is.
Did you write this?
I wrote it, yeah.
So you're a writer, too.
I'm a screenwriter too, yeah.
Screenwriter and novelist.
Yeah.
You do science
yeah.
fiction? Or is it
Science fiction, political thrillers. I have one. I can't give it the green light yet, but one is called SOS United States. It's a political thriller set in the regular contemporary timeline, a cross between Failsafe from the 1960s and Clear and Present Danger. And the opening scene takes place in the USS Massachusetts. So, it's
Like a Tom Clancy type
yeah,
thing?
totally.
Like
And a
that?
lot of the action takes place in a
Yeah.
bunker, actually, but
Yeah.
you still see some, bigger picture things. And so that's the next one I'm hoping.
Now, we're looking, you mentioned a little bit about the film. Are we looking at a theatrical release? I know it's been at the festivals, right?
No, we only had a theatrical release.
Oh, you already had a
Yeah,
theatrical
we had
release, okay.
we had 21 screenings. Most of those were in theaters, and it did well. We had about 80% plus capacity in each one, and we never rented. These were traditional theatrical release film. A lot.
So it sounds like big time.
I positioned it that way.
Yeah,
because
it sounds it.
how can I used to publish magazines, and I
So
pushed
you're pretty much a writer, too.
I'm pretty much right, and I'm also a marketer, and that's what I used to do, consumer marketing a lot. And my feeling is this: we all know how much work goes into making a film, and it's certainly all very exciting being on set, but it has to get out there.
It's the PR that really
Yeah,
kills
and
it.
I'm just relentless.
Without PR, it's nothing,
No
right?
PR, there's nothing. I mean, you've got to send out your press release. You have to pitch your media. If anyone goes to justicesmine.com, they'll see our press reports, and they'll see where we screen the film. Because I was talking to, when I was talking with the international premiere, about 6 or 7 different cruise lines, and then finally, Kennard got back to me. I almost gave up, but then I got the email back in saying, "We're kind of interested in this. Can you send us a screener?" And I said, "Sure." So it's on Vimeo under password protection.
Right.
And they looked at it, and they wanted to do the international premiere. Nice. And it was fantastic because it was that moment. Well, we had a lot of screenings before then. We had some nice press. When a company like that wants to show a film to their passengers on their ship, that just meant the world because I can only imagine the approval process internally. We got this guy from the States that's trying to get his film onto our ship.
Yeah.
Emailing
You
us.
can bet that was scrutinized, that film, and people.
Oh, I'm sure.
People looked at it very
Yeah.
carefully,
Yeah.
and I bet you felt good when they said, "Yeah, it's the green light."
Oh, there's no question about it. It was the whole trip went perfect. We flew from Boston to Rome. There was no incidents at all. There was no delays. The weather was perfect on both sides. I'm going, okay, something's going to
There wasn't a political thriller in the
No, there wasn't.
scenario. I mean,
Well, and what's interesting, the political thriller, part of it is, the basis of it is that the president is doing a goodwill tour in New England and gets intelligence that there may or may not be a nuclear bomb on an ocean liner coming across the Atlantic from Southampton to Boston. They don't really know. And before they know it, they find themselves in a bunker with the Prime Minister, and, you know, it's all...
So we're going to let
We're
you
gonna see some of
decide for
this.
yourself, and we're going to see it. The name of the film again is
Justice is Mind.
Justice is
Mind.
Mine.
Yeah.
FVMRI.
Someone's done her homework.
Hard to miss. They were all over the news a couple of years ago. A machine that can actually read the human mind.
Pretty amazing, isn't it? A complete video record of long-term memory as seen through the human eye.
My God.
Rhine Car Control, this is U.S. Operations. Site 1, linking to Central. Transmitting authorization code.
FVMR link up at 100%. Commence memory transmission of patient Miller Henry, DOB, June 5, 1981.
Acknowledge Rhine Car Control. Encryption is nominal. Standing by to receive signal.
Well, I don't believe it.
Run it again.
What do you plan on doing with this?
It's a capital crime, Doctor. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I know Henry Miller. He isn't capable of this.
Well, the evidence begs to differ. Would you run it again, please? The first segment at half speed and the second at full. Can you transfer it up here?
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe if you went back to work, it would help. It's been over 2 weeks.
My customers shouldn't see me. It's best if I just stay away.
And do what all day? Keep obsessing over this gardening project? You won't talk to any of us. You barely eat. The kids are starting to...
Enough! Enough! You have any idea what I'm going through? Any? This isn't one of your novels. This is real world, okay? Real world. Christ, I'm standing trial for a crime I can't remember. But my mind does. What the hell am I supposed to do?
As Chief Justice Roberts said long ago during his confirmation hearings, a judge should be careful in making certain they have a real case in front of them. Evidence has been submitted that is new to both the legal and scientific communities. But new doesn't mean it is untrustworthy. It is just new. This is a case that no matter the outcome, it will demonstrate that sometimes our thoughts are not our own. Despite the issues, legal and ethical, surrounding patient privacy, there is still patient choice.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, members of the jury. This is a very simple case. A case in which the evidence will prove, beyond a reasonable doubt, that the defendant, Henry Miller, shot and killed Christopher Thomas and Richard Fanning at his farm on April 18th of this year for the oldest motive in the world, revenge of an unpaid debt. The evidence will show that the defendant hired the contracting services of Mr. Thomas and Mr. Fanning, was unhappy with those services, and filed a civil suit against both of them, claiming $250,000 in lost revenues. And the evidence will prove more than one physical altercation between the defendant and Mr. Fanning. Now, the journey of this dispute ended when the defendant shot and killed Mr. Thomas and Mr. Fanning on April 18th. The evidence? The defendant's own mind, his own memory.
Wow. It used to be you would go to your doctor and you'd leave with a prescription. Now you leave with an indictment. Take my word for it. If you good people are sitting here today, this isn't a simple case. In fact, the case that the government is planning to present is circumstantial at best and fantasy at its worst. My friend Henry Miller is on trial for his life because of a machine. A machine that the FDA, our government, has stated has a 3% error rate. But while that machine has a 3% error rate, do you know what's 100% today? It's a 100% fact that the district attorney has not turned up one dead body, never mind two. That Christopher Thomas and Richard Fanning could be walking the beaches of the Caribbean after bilking tens of thousands from several businesses in the community. It was in Henry Miller's best interest to see that justice was served and that Mr. Fanning and Mr. Thomas were brought to trial because, with their certified death by the Commonwealth, their limited assets have been liquidated insolvent, with no hope for financial recovery.
Justice is Mind, directed and written by Mark Ashton Lund. Very, very
Thank you.
good.
We just had
Don't you think,
a
Jim?
wonderful cast and crew that were...
The direction's well done, too.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And the music.
Thank you. Now, that's Daniel Elect Diamante. I hope he's listening over in London, England somewhere. 'Cause I told him to, because he was in England, and when he lives there, and so does the sound mixer, actually. He lives there as well.
He has access if he's typing
He
into
does, yeah.
BNNTV.org.
I showed him all that link today.
Okay.
But he submitted, as well as like Tomek did, when he submitted to our crew, and I just loved his music and his concept. Him and I just clicked. When I said to him, I see, you remember we were talking about when it was running the music at the FVMRI Center, and you commented about that. I love music when they're like around that whole NASA world, when they're in their control stations and all that. So he built it like that.
Me too.
Yeah,
I like that too.
yeah. So but he was wonderful to work with, but it was a terrific cast and crew.
I can see this on the big screen. It already has been.
Yeah,
I can see that out there.
Absolutely. It was interesting because, like, one chain we worked with quite a bit was Cinemagic, and they have a couple locations in Massachusetts, but they're more in New Hampshire, Maine. We've had 3 screenings with them, and whenever I call them to say, well, we'd like to do a screening, and we just work a date out, and then we do all the marketing and all that. But we get a percent of I think we get 40% or 35, whatever it is.
Yeah. Like a lawyer.
And exactly. But we report our box office to Rent Track like the regular films do and everything. So we positioned it that way. Yeah.
You've got 2 components going on here, and you've got your hat in both. You're very creative, obviously, Jim, by looking at the show, but also you're involved with the managerial and the marketing and all the backroom stuff too, which is, I'm sure, it can be challenging.
It's very challenging.
I can imagine that it is, but you're balancing it.
Yeah, it's just I only realize I have that kind of experience because I used to publish magazines. I used to handle their consumer marketing plans. So this is just distributing something differently in my mind because I just know the amount of work we all put into this. Look, the script was written in 2010. I made a short film version in 2011. It gets some interest. Then finally, believe it or not, the investors that came in were 2 of my best friends. I was like, I never thought they would put 10 cents into it.
Well, things are tightening up for you.
Yeah.
They're moving.
Yeah, they're moving. And then we shot the film in 2012 and then released it in 2013 and have been actively
promoting it since.
Yeah, and because I look at it like this, I mean, a film, I get how the studios do it. The film is out, it's in the theaters, it's on home, and then it's done. But we all know how long it takes to make a feature film as independent filmmakers. And it's like, just because it was released, well, this will be the third year.
3 years ago, right?
Going, yeah.
What difference does it make when it's,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever? So that's the way I look at it. But a great casting crew
Yeah.
to make it happen.
Suspenseful.
I thought it was pretty good.
Suspenseful, yeah.
Thought it was great.
It caught your eye.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You were like, what's next? What's next? What's next?
Now, on the television side, it's a little different because you're dealing with a TV program, and Chris and Frankie are trying to get it out there, and it's not theatrical released, but it's on cable, it's on the internet, it's out there, and it's worldwide, and people are watching it, and it's been very successful.
It has been.
And food, of course, is food and comedy go
Yep,
together.
Exactly.
And Chris writes them all, right?
Chris writes everything, yes.
That's a tough job because he's also the director.
And he acts,
he acts in it.
And they're
as
promoting,
he acts in it
they're
too.
promoting
Yeah.
it as well
Wow.
on their own.
He does it all.
Yeah.
He's
Wow.
good.
He does it all.
He's smart.
They
Yeah.
revolve the show around a comedic theme with the food, which is interesting. In fact, we were going to do something when they've been on our show twice.
When are you guys going to get on the show?
We pitched a thing to him last time he was on
Yeah.
the show.
I think
He was going to come on the show, expected to be on the show, but we had other guests on. You know what I'm saying? So
And they were going to bring food,
Right,
and
he
then
was
we were
gonna-
going to say,
Oh,
well,
fun.
that's okay,
Yeah.
we're going to have the food, but we'll see you later.
Right.
Because we just wanted them to bring the food.
Right.
But, actually...
And then they were going to pop up behind the sofa, Chris, and we're ignoring them and stuff. And they were asking questions, and no one's
Right.
paying attention to them.
But actually, he came on, and we talked about his cookbook.
Yes.
Right.
And he showed an excerpt of the show, and we had a lot of people calling in because people were calling in asking about the recipes.
Yes.
So we had people that were watching cooking
Wow.
shows and watching,
He's
not
been on
realizing
Emerald-
that they were
Emerald.
comedic actors at the same
You know
time.
Emerald, the chef?
Yeah.
He's been on his show. Frank's,
Oh,
I guess,
really?
he's one of the
Wow.
better cooks around,
Yes.
I guess, right?
Frankie's
Frankie.
been on
Emerald.
Emerald.
Wow.
Yep.
national cooking shows
Yes.
and has had.
He's got a book, cooking book.
He has a cookbook out.
Yeah.
But he's also in
I can't cook.
and he's also in movies too. He's an extra. He's
in
been a lot of different things.
He's done a lot of work.
Very
in those.
creative. Yeah.
Very creative, and we're going to see something. Tell us a little about what we're going to see with you.
So, Pizza Makers episode 10, Frankie, they decided they're going to have a talk show. And
Just
bring
like
on,
us.
Yes, just like this talk show.
Right.
And they're going to have, a few of the characters that come in and out of the Pizza Palace on a regular basis is interviewing. And in this particular scene, Frankie believes that he's taken the camera over to Danny, who is the lead character in the Pizza Makers, Laura Pizzuti plays. And
She was on the last show we had.
Was she?
Yeah.
I've not met her yet.
Really?
No, I have not met her yet. I'm looking forward to meeting her. So he is surprised when he introduces Danny, and come to find out he meets somebody else instead, and that would be my character.
We had a surprise, Jim. Thanks to Jim, we had a surprise for Frankie and Chris last time they
Ed
came.
Carey came on the show.
Yeah.
He was behind
It's
the
great.
curtain.
So we're going to get our technicians to queue up the Pizza Makers. And in the meantime, folks, 617-708-3280, 617-708-3280. We hope you enjoy our show as much as Jim and myself enjoy bringing it to you. And just to let you know, folks, we have a couple of more shows coming up. Our next show actually is March 11th. And then we are going to see you again in May. It's May 13th. And then again on June 10th. So those are the 3 dates that we know of so far. So we're going to be Jim's going to be working on getting our special guests and, making calls all over to make sure who would like to come on our program and talk about the movie industry and maybe meet some new people so that we can bring you, our home audience, the programs that Jim and I enjoy doing so much. And remember, keep the motion picture industry in mind because it's a big, big win situation for this state. Aside from anything else, folks, aside from anything, the fact that people worldwide see the great productions that this state does, or movies do in this state, and they see the scenery, and Zookeeper proved that, not far from where we are right now. Zookeeper made Boston shine. People are looking at the state saying, hey, what a beautiful state, I think I'm going to go visit. And then the tourists come here and spend money, and economically it's a win-win situation.
And we just had 2 weeks ago at CP Caston in Boston.
Right.
If anybody with a Boston accent
yes.
could
Oh, I
show
heard
up
about
there,
that,
yeah, and the line was down the end of the
Oh,
street.
wow.
I
I
was
can only
there.
imagine.
Were you there too, Jim?
I was there, and I
Yeah.
spoke for Jim Sayer from Dorchester.
Yeah.
I gave him my
Dorchester.
Dorchester accent.
And this is right, and this is something.
This is important.
This is
It is.
important.
Well, that's what they wanted.
They want Boston's
And
accents
that's
only.
right,
Yeah.
and only because Because, folks, people, Dorchester's appealing, Roxbury, Mattapan, the North End, people enjoy seeing these particular locations on the screen. We have a
But
call.
they want to hear them.
They want to hear them, too. Can we have your question, please?
First call, John.
Yes, I just want to say Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year.
And I'm enjoying the show. And tell Mark, justice is mine. I enjoyed that clip.
Oh, thank you very
Very
much.
much.
Thank you. You can watch it on video on demand. It's on Amazon Prime. And if you go to our website, justicesmine.com, you can learn more about the film. But thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And I'm enjoying the show as always.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, now sit back, folks. We have a treat for you. We're going to see LAURIE Bono, right?
Correct.
In Pizza Makers. You won't be a stranger to this because you've seen the producers and directors and writers of this particular program. Now you'll see a scene from it with LAURIE.
Now we're going to toss it to Danny, live at Revere Beach. Hi, Danny. That's not Danny.
That's right, Frankie, baby. I'm Lucia, Danny's sister. She sent me here to tell you she's breaking up with you and your chicken subs. You see, she loves your sandwiches, but she's tired of you always asking her out for dates. She's getting all her subs at that chain restaurant. Those guys don't even speak English, so she doesn't know what the hell they're saying when they hit on her. Ciao, baby.
From the Pizza Makers. Actually, Chris and Frankie do quite well with that. That's out there, right?
Yes.
And they keep on making them, and everybody's trying to get on it now.
Yeah, everyone's trying to get on that.
That's great.
Constantly pounded.
11 shows, wow.
That's
He
good.
does a lot of writing.
Episode 11.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
When you commit to a series like that,
Right.
That's
and a lot of
different
people
than-
say that when they commit to a series, but committing to a film is not that easy either.
No, but it really, when I call it, Captain Kirk's 5-year mission, because
Right.
it has been 5 years since the development of the script all the way to where we are today. Because I don't go into these projects lightly, because the minute I say we're going to do it,
It's a commitment.
it's a major commitment, because I know what goes into doing it. To do it, what I think is, in my view, is right, because again, it takes a lot of time to make a film, and you want people to see it. And I still want it to be seen in certain places. Like I keep saying to Daniel, we need to get that London premiere, and we still need to get it in New York City, and all these places. So I'm always pitching and emailing and phone calls and things like that. But we had a West Coast premiere that was in November of 2013. It was well attended, and I saw some old friends of mine came to that, so that was kind of cool.
They're always, when you do these things, people think a lot of times people says, this is he started this a few months ago, and it's just going out there. Like Frank, Chris is different from you, because he does his things once every 4 or 5 months and stuff like that. So he has a little chance to rewind his thought. But what you do to make a 2.5-hour movie, that is something that takes a long period of time. It takes up a lot of time.
A lot of time.
Did you do it by yourself, or was it other?
Oh no! Oh God, no! I don't know how to edit.
No, did you do the whole script by yourself? Or did you have other
you
people?
wrote the
I wrote the script,
right.
and I directed it, and managed the whole thing. We had a wonderful editor who's also an accomplished filmmaker by the name of Jared Skolnick.
And editing is so important.
Oh, he was so meticulous about it, and the film was edited in 20-minute blocks. And when we met a few days after we wrapped, once we had a few drinks and could sleep for a few days in a row, we met, and he said, "How do you want this edited?" And I said, "Just edit the script, and then we'll see what's going to happen later." And on his first pass, it was largely the way I was looking for. And then I've always worked with this great guy named Adam Starr for special effects. Adam lives in New Hampshire, because there's actually 170 special effects in the film too. So those elements had to be sliced out, sent to Adam. I had to give him the instructions and what goes into what. He goes, "I don't want to watch the film. Just tell me what I have to do in these frames." And I went, "Okay." And I've worked with him before. And speaking about films in Massachusetts, my first film was called First World, a science fiction film, 25 minutes long. We filmed it all in Massachusetts, mostly at the Cape and in Charlton. And he did the special effects for that. And we used to work together when I was publishing magazines. But then, of course, we had, our sound mixer. And then, of course, you have your colorist.
Truly a collaborative effort.
Oh, my God. And you just it's like an orchestra.
It's
right,
tough.
Jim?
It's really, you don't think how hard it really is. You start seeing how when they bring it out, how tough it really is to do.
Now, Laurie, you do a lot of things too, right?
Yes, I've done some background work.
Yeah.
I also manage my brother's restaurant in the North End.
Yeah.
He has 2 restaurants, Benevento's and Al Dente.
Fabulous.
And
Salem
right on
Street.
Salem Street.
Yep.
And I've also I work at 2 radio stations. I do
2
some
radio
production.
stations.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I work at WZLX. I do promotions.
People are wearing
Yeah.
many hats in this business.
Yes.
that's
Oh my
for sure,
God.
yeah.
And
Oh
I'm
my
doing
God.
some production, some board work, board op, radio, which I
That's
I
where you
love.
met Chris.
Chris actually,
'Cause he's from-
I met Chris at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Right.
He was an instructor. And when I graduated, there was actually it was supposed to be for one day. I was supposed to fill in for the board op. And I said, Chris, I can't
And
do
for
this.
the people that are watching the board, folks, it's the technical aspect of it.
It's the technical aspect, putting you on and off
right,
the air.
Right.
And I did say, I can't do
The
this.
volume and
I was always wondering how that control is right. It's
all the
like
controls,
everything in a
all the
car, you know,
controls.
You don't know what
All the
you're doing. You
controls.
look and say, what do I do? But
Right.
it's amazing to me
That's awesome.
how you could do it with
You
your
pick-
eyes
did you
closed
pick it
at
up?
some point. I picked it up, but Chris had all the faith in the world in me.
Right.
And I was just starting out not too long ago, actually. I started very late, but he gave me an opportunity, and I've been there for a year and a half.
And you enjoy it?
Still doing the same job.
Right, you know,
Yes.
Jim and I have interviewed many, many people on this program over the last couple of years, and Jim, I don't think that there's been one person that has only done acting. They have done,
No.
including the people that we've
That's
had
right.
on that were stand-up comics. They didn't do their stand-up comedy routine, but they talked about not only do they do stand-up comedy, they do comedic acting, and they write, they direct, they do serious stuff, they do drama. There hasn't been one person that hasn't had a myriad of different talents.
You wear many hats.
Right, going around in this business because you have to do it, like
do.
with you.
Yeah.
It's truly a collaborative effort.
It
Now,
is.
how did that editor know what you wanted? Because he's involved with this stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. He makes his own films.
Yep.
He edits, and he's won all kinds of awards with his films and all that. So it was interesting because he was already doing it. He was already a camera operator on Justice.
Right.
And we lost our editor 3 weeks before we started in August. I'm going, well, I don't got to worry about that today. I want to place a blind ad out. He responded. I was actually kind of hoping he would because I knew his work, but I didn't want to overload him with all the stuff. So in between, in between scenes, I said to him, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I said to him, "Thank you for submitting to edit the film." And so we just worked the deal out, and it was great. But yeah, it is a total collaborative effort, and I don't think 99% of the people that see films truly knows what goes into it.
Or they know how what all those people do at the end
Yeah.
with the credits, you know?
Really.
What I like to see is bloopers from the films.
Yeah, that's-
Oh my God, right,
Pizza makers must have.
We should really show a lot more. We need
bloopers.
to talk to Chris Palermo about
You
that.
must
We
have
have
a-
some fun
Dick
stuff.
Clark and Ed McMahon had
everybody
a
used to have
program
the
years
bloopers.
ago
You gotta
with
have the
America's
Well,
Favorite
on the
Programs,
pizza maker with the food, I would
Yeah.
think if you had,
But
bad
you guys,
food.
you know, you probably, if you want to get on the show, you might need to maybe, come up with some recipe or something. And
Oh, yeah.
present it to the guys and.
Well, I think, like I said, to Chris, if he wants to put me and John on, he can come on our show again and do it from the show here.
Yeah.
We
Now-
like to take care of.
They could. Yeah.
He could do it from here.
He could do it from here. Now, what's going on in the next couple of months here in
Well,
Massachusetts?
just like I was talking about earlier, about Angela Perry had the thing from Boston, accents and stuff. We all like to think that all the movies are going to come here, they're going to have Boston accents, but they're not going to. Because the people from New York, LA, and Chicago come down here. But I think there's going to be the big movie, Boston, about the Boston Marathon
Yes.
bombing. I think it's going to be filmed here, and it's going to be here for about 4 or 5 months. They're looking for 300-400 joggers, I hear. People who can run, because that's what the Boston Marathon's also. Anybody who's got a jogging. Well, you
But they'll be looking for others.
Yeah, I
You
run.
could-
I don't run that long, but
How
I'm
about-
sure
No,
you
they
don't
don't
have to
in
do
the
the
film,
whole
no, in the
Let's do
film.
like 200 feet and call it a day. Yeah.
But I kind of, they'll take it over Boylston Street.
Right.
I'm
Yes.
sure.
To film that whole
It'll
section.
be filmed, do you think, right where the
Oh,
marathon
it has to
ends?
be. It has to be, because that's where the bombing was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately, there's 2 spots right up the street from there. But they'll be looking for a lot of, and that's why I think also they wanted the Boston accents.
That makes
Right.
sense. That makes sense.
For
Because it
everybody
was in
else.
Boston. People have that
Yeah.
association.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize, like when I went to the thing, there was a couple guys from New York, Philadelphia there, and they were asking them, why are you here? You just don't have the accents. They said, we have the right accents. use people in Boston talk funny. We're like, no.
Yeah, but that's what they want. That's what they want.
Yeah,
They
these
want the
people
accent
actually.
in Boston.
Yeah, they were from New York and Philadelphia. There was 3 or 4 of them sitting there.
Well, if they're actors, they may be able to put the Boston accent on.
It's tough. That's tough.
You can always
People
tell
from New
when
York,
someone's trying to fake it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
like my accent is not nearly as severe, of course, as
Oh,
yours, because
no.
you live out here. You know, I
Yeah.
live in Worcester.
Yeah, you
Worcester.
Worcester with an
Well,
E.
that's 40.
You're
Listen,
on the other side of the bridge also.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the Boston accent.
I don't
People
really
think
have-
that is the
No.
middle of the state, though.
They do, though. But we're really like
listen
not even
when
in
she
the middle.
speaks.
Yeah.
When she
No, I
speaks,
really
where
don't
would
have
you
a-
say she's from?
People tell me I sound like I'm from New York.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yes.
Long Island.
Really?
Long
Yes.
Island.
Yes.
Long
Well,
Island,
when
yeah.
I do that, I just accentuate it a little bit.
Well, but you- but-
They usually, I have people come in at the bar and they're
Yeah.
always, I love your accent.
But the people from the North End tend
Yo,
to
well, listen to
have a...
Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
He's great.
And that's an attraction, too, with the film
great.
industry.
Everybody likes to
617-708-3280.
hear it.
617-708-3280. Jim and I are cable casting our very first show in 2016. LAURIE, Bono, and Mark Ashton, Lund, join us tonight about the importance of the film industry here in the Bay State. And folks, you saw Mark's work. Mark, that's a pretty intense film there you've got. And LAURIE, we saw...
It was very emotional.
Yes,
Did you see
yes.
Yeah, it's interesting because people that watch it, they, especially in the theaters, it's always interesting when the film is over. You know, we always do the little Q&A sometimes there, or we just host it in the lobby, and it's always interesting hearing what
people think.
Oh yeah, because they all have a different take on it. Some, because one of my favorite TV shows, of course, is Law and Order. So, and of course, one of my other favorite movies is Gattaca.
I would think CSI is in.
Yeah, that's also in my
something you have
wheelhouse
to
as
watch.
well, too.
Bones?
Yeah. Do you know, I've never watched
More
an
about
episode.
forensic medicine,
Yeah.
forensic stuff, I think.
You know, and I got the idea for the film when I was actually doing some research when I actually have written the sequel to Justice Is Mine called...
So we're going to be expecting part 2 at some
I'm
point, the
hoping.
sequel?
It's called In Mind We Trust, and it's... I've positioned it as like a pilot for a TV series, and that's how I'm trying to package it, because TV, of course, is really where things are really exploding. Because with the whole thing of neurolaw is really coming into the world of courtrooms now. It is just a matter of time until what I postulate in Justice Is Mine becomes true. I got the idea for the film when I saw a 2009 broadcast on 60 Minutes. It had to do with thought identification that was being researched at Carnegie Mellon University. We actually screened this film at Carnegie Mellon University for the scientist that was interviewed in the thing. And it was interesting because I was told by some people down there that they've already been able to do this in a limited fashion. So it doesn't take, if we can put a man on the moon, it doesn't take a stretch to see that.
Technology is just...
It's just amazing.
It's so
fast.
advanced, and you're tapping into it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. When I wrote the film, I was not particularly in tune with neurolaw and it coming into the courtrooms. I just thought it was an interesting story. And, you know, the Obama administration committed about $100 million, or was it $100 billion to brain research, $100 million, I think it was. So for some reason, the timing worked out really well.
Everything fit.
And, but you just don't know when you make a film.
No.
The timing could be terrible. Yeah.
Now, what's going on with you in the future?
She's going to be working on...
You're going to be working on the marathon film, you think? And the Pizza Makers, of course.
I'm gonna put myself out there and try to do it, get whatever I can. I like to take some classes, and I am going to be on Pizza Makers episode 11. I think that's my 3rd time I mentioned that now.
No.
No, I'm excited about that.
Great plug.
Of course, yeah.
And I recently, I was in the movie Joy. I actually had a featured role with Jennifer Lawrence. So that was
David
that was
Russell.
exciting.
David Russell, yeah.
Filmed right here in the Bay State.
Which again, filmed right here, exactly. And you know, there's been a ton of films in the North End too.
David Russell has filmed
Yeah,
3
so-
movies in this state.
He likes
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
he likes it here.
He's a good guy. I worked with him on The Fighter.
We worked together in the Lowell Auditorium, as a matter of
In
fact.
The Fighter.
It's funny, when they made, was it American Hustle and went out to
Yes.
Worcester, they said, because the inside joke of Worcester was, they need to turn Main Street into the 1970s. Well, they don't have to do anything. All they have to do is film, because it hasn't
Well,
changed much.
that's the attraction.
Yeah.
See, that's the attraction
Yeah.
of Massachusetts.
Yep.
Even going back to Love Story,
Yep.
you know, the location in Cambridge,
Yep.
it's all authentic.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It's
why
authentic.
that's why Ben Affleck just did his movie a couple months ago in Lowell. Was it Lowell?
Yes.
Because of the
Live by Night.
yes,
Right.
but the warehouses were all there,
Yeah.
and they were still the same
They're
as
still
they
the
were
same, yeah.
since the 20s.
Yep.
It's
So
still
he had to
authentic, right.
have warehouses because it was 1912 when he did the movie.
Right, and certainly North End, you can't get much more
He
authentic.
filmed
That's
in the
the way
North
it
End
was.
also.
It hasn't changed.
It was filmed in the North End.
Yeah.
I mean,
You down there?
The town filmed in the North End too, right?
Yep.
Actually, my brother's restaurant was in it.
Oh, awesome.
They actually had the armored car robbery right across the street.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We're
So
talking
it is
about the
exciting
Brinks-
to
the
see
Brinks
it. The Brinks robbery, yes.
Did they-
I love
Right on
seeing
Atlantic
the
Avenue.
bridge in the garden. The garden.
The old
I
Boston
love seeing
Garden.
the.
Now
the
that's your
bridge.
Boston
Yeah,
accent.
I
Six
just
one
flipped
seven.
into it.
Now, yeah, now we know your Boston accent. 617
Flip it around a little
708
on us.
3280. 617 708 3280. Jim and myself are cable casting live right here at BNN TV, bnntv.org, RCN Channel 83, Vimeo, and YouTube. We are international. We are global. And the movies are global too. Things that you see, things that are shot here, all over the world, just like your film.
All over the world. Yeah, we've had people order it from as far away as Australia.
Wow.
A lot of people from the UK,
British.
which is not surprising. Canada, but no, we've orders are coming in from different countries. It's always interesting when I get the stats report in, like from Amazon or from our direct video on demand accounts.
It also gives you some impetus to work on your next film too.
Oh, totally, because there's a sense when you have control over it, like, there's we have a distributor for certain VOD platforms.
Right.
We had an opportunity to, and distribution's a whole other animal with it, because
But that's part of the PR process.
it is, it really is, and you just have to, it's interesting, the contracts in film distribution and the contracts in publishing, there's a lot of similarities, because what do distributors have? They have expenses. And you have to really look at these contracts to make sure you're not going to get buried in their expense column and never get any money back. I mean, sadly, I know some filmmakers that have a great film, they have a great distributor, but they haven't really received any money on it.
That's the old saying, in for a penny, in for a pound.
That's it,
You
yeah.
got to do, once you're in it.
Oh, you're in it, yeah.
You're in it.
So it's just, but yeah, no, all over the world.
If our home audience right now is saying, hey Jim, hey John, what a fascinating film, and Laurie, we love watching you on Pizza Makers, would like to contact you directly or have a website that we can go to, where would our audience go to?
For Justice Is Mine, it's justiceismine.com, and my personal website is markashtonlund.com, and my contact information is
That's
on there.
MarkAshtonLund.com, right?
That is it.
And Laurie Bono's with us tonight too, talking about the Pizza Makers.
Yes, Pizza Makers.
I'm going to bring pizza in next time.
I
Next
want
time
a slice of
next
pizza
time they
now.
come on the show,
Yeah.
we're going to have them cook for us. Frank wants to cook for us.
Well, I can bring you some pizza too.
From your brother,
From my
from
brother's
his
It's
restaurant?
the brick oven pizza. It's one of the best
Better than
around.
Regina's?
I can't say
Because
that.
there you go.
isn't a
I put the
pizza's
pressure on
made,
you. I put the
pizza's
pressure
made
on
in a
you.
brick oven, isn't it supposed to be better?
It's in the brick oven, yes.
It's in the brick oven?
It's,
Well-
I know it's amazing. Our pizza is amazing. That's all I'm going to tell you.
I had pizza today.
Where's your
I'll bring
restaurant
it
again?
It's 111 Salem Street.
Pick me up. I was eating pizza.
I might have to stop in at this restaurant
Yes.
and have a slice of pizza. I mean, I just love
Well-
pizza, so.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you have to
I
come
make
in,
my own.
especially
Well, there's no
Saturday.
better place to go than the North End. That's known for pizza.
I mean, you
that's for
can't get
sure.
any better pizza than the North
Well,
End.
Frank,
Yeah.
no, I think it was Chris said the best pizza he had was in Everett. I think it's Everett. One of the places in Everett said he's the best.
Do you remember the name?
I don't.
Okay.
617-708-3280, 617-708-3280. We
Chris,
got about 5 minutes left. We want to tell you again, we're going to give you those dates again, folks, because we have 3 dates coming up where Jim and I will be here. We've got 3 dates right now that we're going to put out there for you, so you can write it on your social calendar, write it on your chalkboard, put it in your notepad, whatever you want to do, so that you can join us again. You will not miss another program. It's March 11th, and then on May 13th, these are all Fridays, incidentally, and then on June 10th, and that's March 11th, that's May 13th, and that's June 10th. And on those days, Jim and I will be with you, and we will be talking about the importance of the motion picture industry. And Jim, I know, has some special guests lined up.
There'll be some movies being filmed
Yes,
around by those times.
Right, and Jim will be able to tell us all there is to know about the movies coming up, and Jim and myself will be working on some guests. We've got some surprises too, folks, for you.
Well, one of the guests we had on a few months ago was the Representative Chang.
Yes,
From
we may
Quincy.
have another.
He's a SAG actor,
Right.
and he's a rep from Quincy. He's a rep.
And he's in the background
He
extra,
works on
too.
the tax
Yeah.
incentives.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, and he's pushing for the tax break. He works in the
great.
city. He works in the State House.
State House, yeah.
It was the senator I wrote to, and my way was Senator. Oh, what was it? Because he got back to me by a letter saying he was supporting the tax credit.
Well, there's been a lot of publicity
Worcester.
about that
Yeah, I
within the
can't
last
think of his
year.
name off the top of my head,
So,
but-
so we're continuing to push it, and one of the representatives from our area may be coming on too. I'm not quite sure what that date is going to be, so we're not going to say too much
You know
about
who
that.
your rep is?
But we are going to talk about that. So keep us in mind. Again, the dates again would be March 11th, May 13th, and June 10th.
Yeah, that's important, those tax incentives.
Yeah,
Again,
it
we keep
really
on
is,
talking
yeah,
about them, but
yeah.
that's how important they are.
Right.
To realize, like I said, when Mr. Chang was here, the rep from Quincy, he went over a lot of the things that we
didn't
don't know
about.
about
Right.
because it's in the State House.
Right.
And it's in, the laws and
Sure.
bypass. He says that everything, but he tells us that from his point of view, it's so successful that
Totally.
he didn't know where these other numbers were coming from.
Yeah.
That dispute everything he says. The Globe can put out these numbers, and I don't believe half the things they say anyway.
Right.
But you have to have someone to sit down from the State House who's on both sides of the issue, I think, and somewhere there's a middle ground to show that there's they all focus on the big names taking the money back to Hollywood,
Yeah,
but all of us
Yeah,
work
but-
in the movie
but
business,
when you
we
think
cash the checks too.
Exactly.
Well, you look at okay, our film. When I added up everyone on the end credits, our small film had 202 people involved, and that was our film.
Right.
You just know there's over 1,000 people.
All you have to do
working.
is look at the credits.
That's it.
Easy.
And it's just, you don't have, again, okay, yeah, everyone looks at the top star and they make their $10 million and take it out of the state, whatever. Yes, but there's 999 other people working on it.
And even
Yeah.
aside from any of that, and that's all true,
Yeah.
it's as you well know, the public relations, the PR
Exactly.
that's generated from that.
And it's perpetual. It's forever.
Right, exactly.
If you even,
It's going to end up on TV
Oh
if
my
it doesn't
God.
stay in the film. in
And
the theaters.
it's just, in most filmmakers, I know we did. We put them in the locations where we were. Those scenes that we saw. One was in Oxford.
And most
one was in Shrewsbury.
films we see that.
Yeah. So they do that as a courtesy, because and we got all our locations for nothing. So we had a whole integrated public relations plan with them, like we'll mention you.
And those people are going to want to come and see that movie when it comes out.
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
They
and
may
they all
even be
did.
in it.
Especially when we had out in Sturbridge for screening. So.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank our home audience. I don't know where the time goes, folks. We have a few more minutes left, and I want to spend and devote that time to talking to our guests and find out how we can contact them if we need to. But I want to thank Jim for, as usual, being here and co-hosting the show. Thank you, Jim. Happy New Year.
John. Always,
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you. Co-hosted with me. Jim and I enjoy doing the show. We hope you enjoy the show as much as Jim and I enjoy bringing it to you. And I want to thank Jim and I know Jim and I especially want to thank you for this. We want to thank all of our cast and crew. We're talking about the movie industry and the public relations and all the people behind the scenes. What you see is Jim and myself and the guests, but what you don't see are the people behind the cameras and the directors and the technical people and the people that run the board, and the people that hold up the signs and give Jim and I directions. You don't see that. You see their names at the end when you see the show's completion, but you don't see them. So we want to thank them for being so much a part of our program, and a lot of them are interns, so good luck to them in the TV industry.
Emerson College, one of our big
Emerson
guys.
College, and we may have
They
somebody
watch-
from Emerson coming on the program. We
Yeah,
have a lot of young people
we have a
from
lot of
Emerson
people.
watching us because it's a
Emerson,
film,
they have a lot of people.
TV college, and we want to thank all of the people here. And also, we want to thank you for watching us on TV. We've been coming into your homes and on your iPads and however else you're watching us at this point. Technically, we don't know where they're watching
all
us
over
at
the
this
world,
point, all
yeah.
over the
Sure,
place.
yeah.
We want to thank you for watching us. But the theme of our program tonight is the importance of the entertainment industry, the film industry here in the Bay State. We want to keep it here. Contact your reps and your senators, your local reps and senators, and say, look, let's keep those tax breaks coming because we want to make sure the movies stay here. And a very special thanks to Jim Saya, my co-host, and also to Mark, Ashton, Lund, filmmaker, and LAURIE Bono, one of the stars of Pizza Makers, one of the actors from Pizza Makers. So join us again with Jim and myself when we come to you again on BNN TV and RCN Channel 83. We're going to come to you on March 11th, just before the Ides of March.
One of the things, Emerson College.